Hello, I would like to make a video talk about mythology again. This morning I was interested in making research on what more about the Greek mythology and Odyssey, the Odyssey. So I learned a lot about the Odyssey, which is the second half of the Iliad, and they have the Trojan War first, the first 10 years, and the second 10 years is the Odyssey. And the Odyssey is the voyage back of the hero Oscidius. So he's encountering all these adventures in his boat coming back from the Trojan War. And this was adapted to Roman mythology with Ulysses. It was not Homer, but Ulysses that took the same story and changed the names to make it Roman. So the difference is that the conclusion of the story is the foundation of Rome. And so the character is coming back to this place where it's going to be Rome in the future. So he's one of the ancestors of the rulers. And as for the Greek one, is going back to one of the Greek homeland of the hero. Contrary to Hercules, Odysseus is a mortal man, and he does not possess superhuman powers, superhuman strength, but he's just the role model of a hero with strength, beauty, intelligence, with the adventure, the creativity. But the Roman version is more centered about on the state, on the city. What's your place in the hierarchy? So this got me to think about the Bible, because now I think the Bible is it's mythology, but for another people, it's mythology. Thing is, me as a French person, Quebecois person, my ancestors have brought the mythology, the religion, the traditions of the French people. And the French people, say 1600 common era, they were just coming out of the Middle Ages. They were just experiencing the Renaissance with the explorations, and but France had been conquered by Rome a long time ago. In about 50 BC, it was conquered. So France goes hand to hand with Rome because it's a Roman province, and a lot of Roman buildings are there. And French, my language, is rooted in Latin, which was the Roman language. So the history goes that my ancestors were Catholic Christians, and that was brought about by the Romans, because that was made official by the Roman Empire to be the official state religion after a while, because before, of course, it was polytheistic, but since it had influences from, first of all, the Fertile Crescent had influence on the Greece, on Greek with Alexander the Great. Also, there was trade with the trade and conquest and exchanges. So there's a mixture of how the Jewish got mixed up with Greece and the Hellenistic culture, which then after that influenced the Roman culture, and then the they mix the empire, the emperors, they make switches with the religion. So let's go with the religion of the Christians now, and made it official by Paul to uh, no longer have the old gods, but there's some relic of that, and and with the language you can have the knowledge, you can get the legacy because of the language. So the internet is just full of these stories about all the information you want about what accurately actually happened, and what is origin stories, creation stories of different peoples, and then you can compare the two and understand what is going on here. Why are there's contradictions, and when did actually these texts were written? So you have the text of the Bible when you talk about the Pentateuch, which is the five first text of the Bible. Uh, it is claimed that it was written by Moses, and that would be around 1500 BC. Uh, but actually, more people believe that it was written during King Josiah's reign in 640 BCE. So almost more than 1,000 years later than what it was claiming. So, and these texts were not just one author, but an amalgamation of many authors that were taking local stories here and there of different peoples and mixing them together. That's why you don't have this common thread. You have contradictions in the stories, different versions of what it is. So, however, it's said that the Canaans, the Israelites, are Canaanites, and they were tribal people in the region of Judea, in the region of Canaan, and so these were people that had villages there, and they had their gods there, and they were polytheistic, but they developed the origin story based on the patriarchs of Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, Joshua, even King David. We think it's these are stories to explain the origin of the people of that region. And so they would say, hey, we are not random people. We actually have a story. And the past 1,000 years, this is what happened. We were once uh, this little tribe that had this patriarch that had this special relationship with God, and it's actually God that brought us here. And God brought us into Egypt, and He saved us. We were slaves, and we had all these challenges to overcome, and we had miracles that happened to save us. So God was always on our side. So we are these people, and but this is a later version of the religion, because the ancient religion of Israel was polytheistic. So it had to do with Parthenon of gods. So you had El, you had the son of El, which was Baal. You had Yahweh, that was a brother of Baal, and El had a wife. So and but then you had this conflict about, okay, who is the god of the who's the god of the thunder, lightning, rain, and agriculture, water, and the charioteer of the clouds. So, in 4 times in the Bible, it is said that that is Yahweh, that is the charioteer of the clouds. However, in other sources, it is said that Baal was the charioteer of the clouds. So some people think, oh, Baal is not really the real God. It's like a weaker God. And if he was in a fight with Yahweh, Yahweh would destroy him. It was very easy because it's much more powerful. However, this is not uh, unanimous because Baal was actually seen as the all-powerful God that was fully 100% God and was the God of birth and has his own mythology as well related to him. And so that's why there's a conflict with Yahweh and Baal, because eventually there was a confusion between the two, because the two were so similar. They were, and then it was like, hey, who is the real God of whose voice is in the thunder, who's in the lightning and the clouds and the rain and the water? Is it Baal or is it Yahweh? And then they said, well, the Bible was written to an audience that were in that context, so they knew about the different mythologies and gods around Israel. And so when the Bible is saying exclusively to Yahweh, the people that are reading that, they understand that there are they know about the other gods, and it's just to say that these gods are not the real gods, and we need to be exclusive towards Yahweh, because the common belief was there are multiple gods. So, but the Israelites want to be separate from the other people around, and they think of Canaan as the truth is they're original tribal people from Canaan who are telling the story that happened, but it's inspired by myths from around that has been traded and influenced by the cultures around. So is it historic? No, it's not. So uh, so and then you have a rebranding of Yahweh, because before it's El, and now when he's meeting Moses, he says, my name is now Yahweh. It's not no longer El, which means God. In Hebrew, El it means God. Like Bethel is the house of God. Beth Sabrim is the house of princes. So all these different tribes have different poly part collection of gods. The Israelites, the Egyptians, the Greeks, Babylonians, and then so these are Judah. This is the Judah kingdom, and the Judah kingdom made it clear that there's only one God now, and it's Yahweh. So he actually killed the priest of Baal and other gods just to make it exclusive. But then the Romans came in and persecuted the Jews and all that, and then the what happened is the Jewish they had a spin-off on their thing that made it that there's going to be a Messiah that's going to liberate them. But I'm talking about the Old Testament that it was written while they were in exile, because the Babylonians also they destroyed the temple, and that's what we talk about when we talk about the Jehovah's Witnesses talk about the different powers of, and when you talk about the prophecy in the book of Daniel, that you have King Nebuchadnezzar, which is a historic figure, destroyed Jerusalem, and they were sent. The survivors were sent in exile, and those were the people in exile. That's when the Bible was edited and really polished, and it was made more into, this is who we are, this is our identity, what we represent, what is unique to us now, and so what's our history, so it could unify the people. So that was in about 600 BC. So there. So that's what I learned today, and the thing is that these things have been translated. There have been They have been brought to us through religion, through Christianity, because all of this history, through writing, through letters, because Latin is related to French. So you have the knowledge that is passed down to generations to remember what happened and understand it. But yeah, I thought that was interesting because France was conquered by Rome, but not Germany. So that's interesting because I've always been interested in Germany and the Netherlands, because I think they are a little bit different, and maybe that's one of the points that make it that they are different, is that they never were Roman province, while France was. So I think I said enough. Thank you. Bye.